Thank you, Brother Vincent. Very good sharing indeed. I believe that those of us who have children, regardless of what age they are, we do worry for them. I remember when my children had just got their driving license. They took the car for a night out with their friends. I kept looking at the clock and I don't fall asleep until they are safely home. Indeed, Pastor Billing and Brother Vincent have gone through some challenging times when Victor was born. They have done a good, wonderful job in raising him up, and most importantly, entrusting him to God. I love Victor. He really is carefree and worry-free. Next, we get Brother James, all the way from Perth, Australia. He will share his personal experience and encounter with God.
Thank you, Vivien. Jesus requires us to have the singleness of heart in Luke 12:22-34. What is the radical discipleship message of Jesus in Luke 12:31? There are many occasions in our lives we're constantly battling against our fleshly desire, our sinful nature, our attitude towards God and the things of God. Many of us are so content that we have got the fine insurance. We accepted Jesus Christ in a Billy Graham crusade, and we walk down the aisles and we tick all the box and we think that we are all right. But I realize that we are not all right. Just because we say the sinner prayer doesn't mean that we are saved. There has to be a lifestyle change. There has to be an orientation change in our hearts. If Christ and the presence of God is not our treasure, I will seriously question our salvation. Oftentimes we think we are going to heaven when we say the sinner prayer. How many of us know that heaven is for people who treasure Jesus more than life, who surrender their life willingly and follow Him and say, "You are worth everything. You are worth more than silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver or gold." The song that I sang in the Psalmist at TOD many years ago. Nowadays the song is, "I'd rather have both Jesus and the silver and gold if I can have it." It's so clear that the statement mentioned here is having double love in a single heart. It's having fatal attractions, pursuing unworthy loves, desiring worldly pleasures, possessions and prestige along with a heart for God. The statement is so subtle. We can pray in tongues the whole day, but if we have a corrupted heart where our desire and lusting after things of this world, that's not going to make every wrong right, because prayer is no substitute for obedience. We can't pray away the things that we reaped because of our disobedience. Wisdom is applying the truth, knowing it ahead of time. There are times I think I can be attracted to the world. I can live a life of pleasure seeking and accumulating possession on earth. It's all about the prestige of life. Take pride in my accomplishment and my children's accomplishment, then have a heart of God, and it will be fine. But I'm deceiving myself, and that's what Jesus is saying. It's having two loves in a single heart, and God is a jealous God, and that's how He revealed Himself in the Old Testament. He is a jealous God towards His people. He says, "My heart only belongs to Him, no one else, and nothing else." What is the test to check if you are double-minded or single-minded? As we reflect on Luke 12:33-34. So the acid test question here for us to reflect would be, number 1, what do you consider to be your treasure? Number 2, where are you storing up treasures? Number 3, how are you spending your earthly treasures? Number 4, what is your heart longing, yearning for, searching after and pursuing? And 5, who is truly the master of your life? So the question to ask here is, what are you seeking, pursuing, preoccupied with, and passionate about? So what does Jesus say about the earthly treasures in Luke 12:33-34? Number 1, our treasures on earth is perishable and is corruptible. And number 2, our treasure on earth is precarious, is very uncertain, especially you can see all this during this pandemic situations that's happening globally. And there are 2 indicators of where our heart is. Number 1, our financial statements, bank credit card statements, bank statements to show where your money goes. That's where your treasure is. Number 2, the financial portfolios, where you take pride of. 3 times Jesus said, do not be anxious in Luke 12:22-34. Do not be anxious about clothing. Do not be anxious about where you lived. Do not be anxious about food. And Jesus also pointed out there are 4 questions that reveal your inner life issues in Luke 12:22-34. And the first question is that, is not life more than food? So what does it deal with? It deals with the issue of value. Question number 2, are you not of more value than they? What does it deal with then? It deals with the issue of identity. Number 3, can you add a single hour to your life? It deals with the issue of control. Number 4, will he not much more clothe you? It deals with the issue of trust. Therefore, I need to identify and deal with my inner life issues seriously, because I used to live callously, because my value system is upside down, and I fail to understand the significance of who I am, which is my identity in God, and because I wanted to have control of my temporary lives, while continuing to pursue the status symbol of life. Therefore, it's good for us to take time to write those answers for these acid test questions truly before God. Let's take stock of our lives and see where we truly take, and then come and say, I am living a committed life. I need to live a consecrated life and have the Holy Spirit to reveal to me where I need to surrender. So remember, truth doesn't change lives, but truth applied change lives. And with this, I hand it back to Vivien.